you must understand one thing. When parents bazabuwe or when a mom approach our parents, they see you as their child. And they need to protect you. So they'll do by all means to protect you. Or but they need to protect you.
I can imagine a lady experiencing these things, saying,
I understand.
Okay, this guy is serious about me. Then when they ask her how many kids that the guy have, all the time I wonder it's what you want with two different women.
Podcast El House of Apostle.
Camera. Rolling.
Most important thing that I just want to do.
A man and his daughter will walk in the forest.
Good day to everyone. Welcome to Podcast at House of Apostle with Umlungis. I am Umlungis in Simbetles in Simga Kobeki. Ki Atom Ki Munadulanka Kantlaba Apostola, Kalaba Apostola. This is the House of Apostle. Today, I'm with my co-host Uxolani Ngolowa.
Good day, everyone.
This is a Real Talk Wednesdays. Today's topic or subject is about how to adapt being a step parent. How to adapt being a step parent. Yeah. Reason being, we see mostly in this recent time an amount of teenage pregnancy and most single parenting massively increasing and in a point whereby it will force us or would engage in a future of having relationships with people with children or being stepfathers or stepmothers.
Yeah.
So basically we're trying to adjust, we're trying to give solutions. We're not saying we're correct, but we're just trying to have a conversation on this, seeing that it will be a trend in the coming or the near future.
Tuana, in fact, just to add, man, on that, the reason for this conversation is that we are, in fact, our generation and the coming generation.
Sure.
Chances are you won't find a partner that does not have a child.
So good rough, no.
So good rough. So these are the things that we hardly talk about, or it's the reality that we don't want to face. But the thing about it, that this thing is real.
Yeah.
You usually hear amajita or abosisibetu but hi mina ngifuna nganamntwana mina type ya umuntu so yabona most usually uthi umuntu onomntwana yahlupha, or you hear of the stories about my baby mama drama yabona yonke lento le
and esizoba reno
uyangithola ukuthi look it's the reality that sesiphila kuyo, and we will encounter that. Our generation is currently going through it. Njengoba now usho ukuthi teenage pregnancy, if you can go back nje ntwana in your high school days, the amount of young girls you used to see classmates falling pregnant. So obviously as you grow up, to understand,
and even now
too many. The number is getting higher and higher every time, you understand? So in reality is that in the future will be married to a person who has children or a child.
Actually, we should learn to adjust to that.
So the purpose is just to talk about those things. So as we welcome, see, embrace it because of it's part of our reality.
Get used to it.
But Donna, the important thing about this conversation that I think we should mention is that we are not talking about this thing because we are trying to divide. So we won't dwell much on disadvantages because it's but we are trying to bring a positivity in this topic. We are trying to say, look, the purpose is to unite.
But no mas ngachonja mantwana, just to create an awareness, because some of our step parents they go through difficulties. So just to create just an awareness.
Machine, of course. But saying The aim here is to unite. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I mean,
sure.
the aim is to unite families. The aim is to make sure it's okay to now. This is the new reality. How do we adjust to this reality?
Yeah.
It's over easily acceptable as it seems like it is part of our lives now. So we're not gonna dwell much
Sure. Yeah.
on
Yeah.
negativity because
Yeah.
that one is dominating already. But
Sure.
let us try to stick to the positive ones kakhulu yabona as much as those mention as in so
Try to build nation, eh?
yeah we're trying to build a sort of like a new nation or like the real nation that is
Sure.
coming yabona
Sure.
singalibeli shayana yeah
So let's just go to Amalente. Let's just go to it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
You can like and comment. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Google
Yeah.
Podcast, and Apple Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, let's go to it. But because before Siyago, you can. Yeah.
before ntwana social definition
Sure.
yazi ntwana there's a traditional perspective where umntwana entombi for example
All right.
or things nomntana na umjita let's say uthoyile umntwana like
Yeah.
out of the wedlock
Yeah.
and there come a times where you want to get married now obviously not to the mother of the child maybe to somebody else
Sure. Sure.
and you'll hear people saying okay lo mntana lo mthoyile ngaphandle usana nogogo
Sure.
usale jakuthi kuba mntana kagogo then wena uyahamba uyamshachadweni. Understand? Most
Alright.
share our females because they understand this thing better.
Sure.
Because teen as men we usually privileged when it comes to cultural things.
So
because
basically,
they are still
kuluma
patriarchal.
cultural.
Yeah, so there's that
Okay.
culture traditional perspective. You understand?
So basically,
Guiding Leon
so
Twan.
I think it comes in both ways because angithi kunalabati we have palina money and then there's these ones would say no, I prefer umntana abe out of wedlock angangena emshadweni.
Asayo nogogo.
Yes,
Yeah,
nogogo.
yeah.
But I think that would I think we should discuss it. It's very
But
interesting now.
I think the reason why
Yeah.
which it leads us to this conversation because you will find that we are not used to such situation where there's a blended family.
Sure.
To understand where uthole ubaba thathe kumama nomntana konke yabona or ubaba aze nomntana akhe
Yeah. Uthola ngesinye isikhathi ubaba ufuna uthanda umama. Mara akathanda abantwana or afuna abantwana babe khona.
vice versa.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
because of such perspectives,
Sure.
Tina Ntwana, what we must do, we must try to change that because we've seen Ntwana how lento lena eyokuthi abantwana bangakhuleli noma ngikholiswa abazali bashaye kanjani
Sure.
nabogogo yonke lento le.
Sure.
You see umntana onjani mina umntana akazenzanga ukuthi angazali umshashashadweni. You understand? So why is that the child must feel now discriminated?
Sure.
You understand? So boy, we are still on the purpose
I
of
think
this conversation.
I
We are
think
trying to unite.
Nakona
we're
there's
trying
no
to break-
comfortability.
Actually, we are trying to break those perspectives to say maybe let's consider these perspectives as them being wrong.
Sure.
Sure. So step parenting, Jayam. Yes, khuluma ngabazali lana who will stay with their stepchildren, who will have to adapt being step parents because that is the reality where we are facing.
It's difficult, yeah.
So Donna must come step parenting.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Let's define it.
Must get your point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the step parenting?
Sure.
Step parenting basically, in definition, it's a parent who is married to a father or mother of a child who is not a biological father or mother. So basically, utoli made. Yeah, but we are tanda, but no, inengosi. Yeah, understand. So basically, because you are mtanda, you're gonna be inclined to umshada. So umshada already, utoli ukuthi umshada uvana engosi. So automatically become the parent, the step parent.
Yeah.
I understand. But mhlawumbe ungayibeka ngenye indlela.
No, Ntwana, I agree with you. There's no any other proper definition besides that. Look, kungaba now who is out.
Sure.
Understand? Unengosi, and you meet this lady, you love her. Now you want to pursue things with her, and you have to talk about this matter.
Sure.
You talk him to
Zisasuke
take things
bandi.
serious. Now I met. Unengosi mina. How do we work when it comes to this?
Sure.
Understand? So That is the definition.
Sure.
Now we want now to understand from that point
Sure.
of understanding that, okay, if my partner is a child, then that automatically makes me a step parent. Now, we know most relationships between a step parent and a stepchild, it's not really 100% okay.
Sure.
Do you understand? Sure. Now we want to make it okay. What are the reasons, or what can you do to adapt being a step parent?
Sure.
That will also help a child, in fact, because we're talking to you as a parent because you're a matured person, unlike a child. Let's say a child is still young, so children most of the time they don't understand. But you as a parent, as a matured person, let us talk to you because when you can understand better. So how to adapt into being a step parent?
Sure.
I think the foundation of them all that we will obviously talk about is to communicate in
communication
and children.
Yeah.
Understand? And communication is not limited. It should be a communication that is very, very open, or like be open from the word go.
But basically, being open when it comes to expectations.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because when you start talking, I think it must be from where go man kale relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm coming angnamtwana when nomtwana. You understand? So I think we should sit down and talk.
Yeah.
As I'm going to be a step parent, how are we going to work this thing out?
Yeah.
You understand? Because sometimes it's very difficult to step parent while there's a parent, a biological parent. Per se, you understand?
Yeah.
So you need to set boundaries and you need to adjust to that because you need to understand what normal we step parent, but you'd be in the middle of biological parents.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, sure.
So you need to lento le uzam ukuthi adjust and it must process through you.
Yeah.
You understand? Ukuthi noma kungayenzakalani, these both because bazalile umntwana, they'll by any chance have conversation or communication. Yeah. So we found out ukuthi sometimes kuba nesmoke. You agree to be with a woman on umntwana, then you step parenting, but you don't want him or you don't want her to communicate with the biological father or mother. Yeah. You understand? So coming back to your point when you say communication, it needs to start from there.
It must
and be clear to expectation. What do you expect to her now? What do you like? And then set boundaries from there.
The dynamics that are going to come with it.
You understand? Yeah. Because now it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult for you to ungene nje kuphela. Ithi masokwenzakala idrama besiqake manje. Because now when ungenile wathi ne hayi khona hayi ngiyakuthanda engithanda nencosi yakho. Because being a step parent, it's difficult. It's not
very difficult.
It's
very difficult because as you are a step parent, you don't just deal with only your partner.
Yes, true.
You have to deal with your ex as well.
To
understand? And at some point you must communicate with your ex with regards to the child. And your child as well must now adapt that, okay, I have two mothers or I have two fathers. To understand?
And you must also deal with the family.
Then there's the family part.
The family part.
Understand? So all that thing, mansa hlangana with your partner, it must be open and be said clearly. Okay, what is it that you expect?
Sure.
How are we going to communicate? I've heard about a couple where they were saying, no, baby mama will communicate with your wife. So example, or when I will communicate, like depending on how you guys or how you guys arrange it. But what is very important is that thing was communicated with how we're going to deal with this.
True.
Okay. Umntwana uzanini or sihlala naye uhlala all that thing.
Yeah, sure.
All those things. Okay. Do you communicate with your ex or you don't communicate? And how do you feel when your partner is communicating with your ex? So all those things, discuss them from the word go.
From the word go.
Because that is the actually that criteria and with okay, mina if uzothi uzom accept umuntu onengozi, then just know what that part must be laid on the ground from the word go. Okay, abanye maybe we don't date to get married.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But in case things, because you're not actually sure you're going to marry until you understand it happens.
Hence, my point important when you say when umjolo. I think umjolo, for my side, I think it doesn't define a step parent.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
Because lo muntu is not content, akekho straight ukuthi uyahlala or akahlali. So that things le yenzani izoconfuse umntwana. Because 1 minute kunomjida, 1 other minute akusekho so khona omunye umjida. You understand? So according to my perspective, I think for me, if I'm saying a step parent, it should be someone okunguthi ushadile owazi ukuthi okay, lo I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And then that's where singaqala sithi okay, that's step parenting, because sometimes it's very difficult or very painful to start step parent emjolweni.
No, you don't necessarily step parent, boy. Nyavuma ukuthi umjolo, but it's just that unfortunately the way we define umjolo ngakhona is the way we define umjolo currently. But then I believe the purpose of umjolo was just to lay down all that information. You understand? And of course, like to talk about everything that is either sensitive or fun. Talk about it so that in case you decide, as you are busy dating, you decide to say, okay, let us take our thing to the next step, our relationship to the next step. Then now it's leading to marriage. You understand? Now, if from Mjolweni you talk about that to say there's this possibility that okay, I have a child. So if things go serious between you and I, these are the expectations that you must. These are the dynamics that you're gonna come across.
It goes back to communication.
Yeah, so it goes back to communication.
Because let's not
discuss it from
let's not shift it away. Kunamajenso kunguthi they do step parent emjolweni. And they are good in it.
Sure.
Bakhona ukuthi ba provide, bakhona ukuthi ba assist and help.
That is when you have decided to take your relationship to the next step to say, okay, now there's a part where we introduce our children to.
So basically, communication is a key to this all.
That one, I think we're all in agreement. That is the foundation of them all. To say, look, it won't help to try and score points. To say, no, I'm trying to score point. Angifuna nomntwana usukangibaleke lo mntwana or like lo mntwana uyabona or now lead village ayilophuthi usukanyeke. That thing won't help. What is important is to be honest.
It's to be honest,
whether lo muntu lo yakiwa akiyeke. Because man, you are foreseeing.
Because abanye abantu uthola makangena uyafihla ukuthi unomntwana. Understand? Along the way must comfortable sekavela manje and ukuthi wena you know in those plans ukuthi when utshela ukuthi mhlambe uqala uzoba nomntana, you understand? So sometimes it breaks a relationship ekungukuthi bezoya far. So as you said ukuthi communication is the first key to it.
Sometimes ayishaywa ngokuthi lo muntu unomntwana.
Yes.
Ishaywa ukuthi lo muntu
azange abe honest. Sasuke ebhanti.
Yeah, azange abe honest. You understand? So it's a very serious one. Number one, foundation. It's communication.
Yes.
Communicate and respect your partner on top of that. Understand?
Yes.
Yeah. Then how to adapt. Number two,
we need to actually give it time.
Yeah.
Ngamanye amagama, we need to process it, take things slowly.
Yeah.
So that everyone can have time to adapt.
Yeah.
Because lentole it's a process. It's from a parent to a child.
Yeah.
And uthola ukuthi umntana ngesinye isikhathi ujwayele his or her biological parent.
Yeah.
Or uthola ukuthi sometimes umntana akakwazi. Umntana mele adjust ukuthi akwazi.
Yeah.
You understand? And they don't take just a day.
No,
it will take time. So for you and for the child to adopt, because nakhona when we complex it siyenza ukuthi ibe wide and ibe abroad ifakelela ne-family, you understand? Because most of the time our culture, our family, they are not fond when it comes to step parenting, you understand?
Yeah, this is
yes. So basically time it's one of the things you need to have when it comes to adapting. Because now uthola ukuthi ekhaya you'll have differences. Uthanda media yakho bona bayithandi because ize nomntwana. You understand? So now you having a fight ne family, you having a fight nokuthi ufightele in relationship yakho ukuthi iphumelele. So this thing, it needs time.
Yeah.
You need to process it. Uqala uyifake, uintroduce, and then until ihlale, because sometimes uthola ukuthi it will take time ukuthi uzwane nomntwana. Thola mhlawumbe umntana ungenye indlela, mhlawumbe umntana akakuthandisisi.
I mean you're still a stranger.
You're still a stranger.
And mhlawumbe uhlangana naye noma sekuthiwa uhlangana naye sasena 3 years yabo. Okuhlangana naye lo mntana sasena 10 any age. Everything Donna from what you are saying is that masingayijahi this thing.
Sure.
This thing, it's a process. Don't I think of parenting, for example. Let us remove the step part.
Yes.
But being a parent, it's a lifetime permanent job.
True.
Do you understand? Like it's not just any permanent job that you'll get anywhere. Laws or retire corner, most on 60. No, this one it's a lifetime. Once what we again. So what is the point of rushing? Do you understand? Look, let us take things slow. Let us introduce this thing. Don't rush. Okay, I've met with my partner.
So now we expect everything to be perfect.
Like you must understand that you are becoming this new mother, or you are becoming this new father to the child. So now that child, you must understand what that child is going to have a difficult time to accept somebody who's new.
It will take time,
and that child might also be influenced by like the other parent, the biological parent, to say, ay, babako or mamako, sekano monye one, and in one. So all those things will be a play on the child. You understand? So uzoba difficultness to accept you. So this thing takes time. We should not rush to say, okay, now we are dating. Since now short period, therefore it's time to. No, let us not, because it's a lifetime thing. I mean, if you talk about for the rest of your life, what is the point of rushing?
Sure.
What is important is that in one, this thing in Kulumenayo, then now it's time to
process it.
Talk about children first. Like for example, let's talk about children. Oh, okay, so tanda ini, let's start it there. Then your biological parent. You want to introduce your new partner to this child. Do you understand? Then you talk to the child private first. Maybe two. Understand?
Biological parent,
separate. Say, okay, you gradually, not to go to first time.
Yeah,
so figure, imagine a partner, now I'm done. So say, hey, obviously, so let's take it slow. As you are saying, boy. Yeah. And the boy for no school on your point, man. Number 3. It's the parenting, man, and blended families, in fact.
Sure.
The advantage is that I'm just looking in a very light way. That actually this is an opportunity of having big families.
True.
You understand? If it really works, then imagine having a big family. Like it's a very good thing. Just to have a big family. Like so that thing to say, it also, if you look at it in that way, to say actually this is a big family, and big families at most of the time like are nice families, because it's just all about it. Like let us look. So my point is, let us look at things in a positive way. So if we play in a positive way, we are born with, actually there's an opportunity to have a big family.
True.
Yeah.
True. To even emphasize in the Bayama roles.
Yeah.
When it comes to parenting.
Yeah.
You understand? Because I think the biological parent was umtanake
sure.
more better and knows the situation. And by you sitting down Kulume, you can create a list of roles. Okay, I can expect you to play a role till here.
Sure.
Or you understand?
Sure.
Just to be on the safe side. Because sometimes utholukuthi uyayenza but uyenza in a point ukuthi igcine senicabanisa. You understand?
Yeah.
Uthola ukuthi mhlambe the father or the mother or umntana would like umntana aphathwe ngendlela kanje. Let's say for example isikhulume ngama homework uyabona sikhulume ngendaba yokufunda mhlawumbe ubaba uya onama timetable ayenzayo for umntana wakhe ukuthi okay in this time umntana wenza kanje and that time you understand so maka move la to a step parent it becomes a different routine you understand so hence that is why ngithi sometimes roles are very important when it comes to communication lesikhulume ngayo ukuthi okay building a list of roles ukuthi okay ubaba kamntana uyenza kanje na kanje umama umntana umkhulisa kanje this is the routine kwenzakala kanje na kanje esikoleni kunje na kanje na kanje
so basically ntwana you prepare for this thing
you
plan for this thing you understand you plan for this thing nihlala phansi nepartner yakho nasho ukuthi okay so hlala nabo sizoyenziwa so yonke lento le ukuthi ntwana bengifuna sibheke ukuthi bangintwana big families ukuthi there's an opportunity in that way sibheke in a positive way that look for example intwana mhlawumbe uzala amantombazana like and uthola ipartner ezanomfana but maybe do a chance to have a son maybe when uNkulunkulu did not give you that thing to say when you have boys or maybe you have boys nje only you understand and you wish ukuthi engathi ngathola intombazanyana and now you can't because that is how God wanted you to have but if you get an opportunity from a partner who's coming with a child for example yabona ohlamba umfana wentombazana lo wena vele umfunayo and this is your chance to say okay now my family is expanding you understand so if singayibheka in a positive way then it's going to open our eyes and it's going to make us more free and happy in fact so that is just a point that I wanted to make
so let's bisakhuluma ngama peoples angithi
sase kulento ntwana kuma adapt how to adapt understand ngifuna into nokubala ile izininginyana man engizinothile njalo
no feel free
there's this reality that we are running away from understand step parenting ntwana if you have a big family understand as you're saying then let us be honest my faith that nemali nayo will be play here understand mali will be very much needed so it needs somebody not just sort of lemutakanamali but on a good financial planning skills understand azokuthi okay emails zami nasebenza sona so that zingawasteki because remember ukuthi step parenting it's either if the child does not stay with you for example now you have to give somebody else a man ngapha you have to naka abantwana bakho ngapha yabona abantwana bani like you understand ukuthi udila nento eziningi so it needs a couple or a partner that is very much mature when it comes to
and let's not forget this if we're talking about step parenting we're not talking about parents that are not maintaining their biological children but are able to maintain the step children. You understand? So basically I was just trying to create an awareness. There's some men who are very comfortable or women who are comfortable, but most of the time it's men. They're very comfortable when it comes to maintaining their stepchild, but not their biological children. You understand? So basically I'm saying in this topic we're not involving such. You understand? Instead we're declining there ukuthi most men if maybe izinto zambanga kahle nosiso bozwana naye make sure ukuthi umntwana by all means you maintainer uyamkhulisa as your biological children and then nase step childing naye usikhulise nayo ngendlela equally you understand because there's so many people who struggle out of that uthola ukuthi ubaba unabantwana nomfazi omunye you understand baphila kamnandi baba khona bayenza la but akakhona ukwenzela abantwana babo you understand so we need to bring that to okay even though ni couple if you fight guys don't involve children in your fight you understand but instead you can team up ukuthi umntana akhule kahle
noma ngenza kanjani
separate asathola umshado sami nomunye athole the partner it's something that it's
yazi intwana ungakhona ukusupporta your stepchild while angahlali nawe but support nje understand because you are trying or you are adjusting to this thing or you have accepted this thing you are working it understand so there is nothing wrong naleyo to say okay mina my stepchild mhlambe ufuna ukuhlala no maybe the biological father.
Sure.
Do you understand? But because you are there as a step parent, and you no mama and you are a family, obvious jealousy will be there if you made a kubona support abantwana bakho wena yonke into sharp while yena hleli nawe wamntana wakhe yena akazi ukuthi udla ini lala nje. So ingaba mnandi this thing ukuthi if you are a couple and unabantwana ngaphandle na unabantwana ngaphandle or vice versa or whatever the reason, but as you are supporting these children, your financial planning skills is equal and it's very good. Understand that? Okay, man, it's okay na mise imali lapha sho ukuthi wonke umuntu uba satisfied and uba it is. Understand? So you don't have to really stay with your stepchild for him or for you to support him or her. You understand? The child can stay very far to they can stay with their biological parent or the child can stay with whoever, but still support now.
Sure. Yeah. And sometimes to just enlarge this.
Yeah.
Culture. I just wanted to give reasons when it comes to that. Remember when we spoke first, we said culture denies this.
Yeah, influence
yeah. And because
our wrong reasons.
Because sometimes we see kuna mashow akhona abakhumbule ekhaya.
Yeah.
Uthola umuntu athi ufuna baba akhe ufuna mama akhe because of isibongo.
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah.
So sometimes communication part we should emphasize it more.
Sure.
When it comes nakhona nasesimeni san sayibongo. Because let's say for example nomuntu wakho nikhulisa umntana maseka khulile angithi uhappy leli namani so usebenzisa isibongo sakho so manje sekafuna ukumuvela to isibongo kwesakhe so original.
Yeah.
You understand? Then it will create any fight because uthola ukuthi most yabo mama or most yabo baba they'll feel uncomfortable ngale ndaba le. You understand?
Entwana yazinto ezijalo, to be honest, is apply kakhulu communication. These things you may think that mhlambe masemjolweni are full of games on sidalo and science, like emjolweni ntwana, to be honest, those are the things that we need to talk about.
Sure.
To say actually when it comes to the child, how is going to work. Yabona into ezifana nje ngeyibongo for example, that in case we get married
bangayenzakala kanje,
then when it comes to the child, what is the plan when it comes to into zabo name nani uthatha konke nasibongo walefa umntana infinity like you discuss those things.
Sure.
You understand? It's early as possible that maningazwani
because most of the people are suffering from this. Ubona bokhumbuleka na umuntu uyasafara utendo teyazi mina ngifuna isibongo saka baba ngifuna isibongo saka mama washa kwacima but umama akafuna ukukama out and sometimes uthola ukuthi ubaba uyowashiya umama stranded. So umama masekathola umunye ubaba akafuna ukukhuluma ngobaba wakho. You understand? And when hence ufuna leyo nto le, so sometimes it's very difficult and very painful. You understand? So it comes back to single parenting ukuthi sometimes if you're a single parent, I think mawuhleli nomuntu wakho may understand and understand the pain which you've passed through.
Understand? Umtshela ukuthi look nice situation.
Ukombuza ukuthi enhle kahle isilonda sakho siphi. I think it's very important ukuzwana nomuntu nomntana ukubuza isilonda ukuthi okay kumosheke kuphi emuva because you can also do the very same thing ebeyenze the previous one.
Now ungayenza sure
eyenza ukuthi this step parenting ibe unhealthy.
Na intwana enye man that I wanted to add nyakuzwa that I wanted to add as how to adapt nakhona. I'm not sure about now about but then point this one is very sensitive because we usually hear or we usually see it happening. Do you understand? Intwana indaba yedlala. Do you understand? Okay, sharp. There is this maybe when anemida ko neba nomntana wena emshado then uza nomntana akho wena naye shikhaya
uza nomntana
akhe. Understand? Okay, nithini just because we are happy families communicating ngalento savumelana sihlana abantwana this is one big family, it's nice. Understand? But intwana emakasi we usually hear of stories where now abazali abasekho now we start to fight for the houses. Understand? Now sesiyaqala izabantwana sesiyathukana ukuthi hayi wena awusola ekhaya wena in fact even yabona families and neighbors they will say ukuthi hayi wena kwenza kanje nakanje yabona. So how to adapt or how to avoid that kind of, because these things they happen, Bafito. These things they happen, like especially in the Namafa.
Is to prepare it earlier.
Yeah. So I wanted to say Ntwana before Manadi. I wanted to say as a step parent or as step parents, understand? You need to, not you per se, but as you, with your partner, which is the biological parent. Mawazi ukuthi look, I have another nomntwana ngaphandle. Why don't you build more homes? This one I know it may be debatable and but building more homes, in a way it makes sense to say, okay, I know ukuthi nomntwana mhlambe with a certain lady, or then another certain lady, then nala emshadweni wami no ngabantwana, to understand? Then you know ukuthi okay, for la emshadweni this is the home, but what's going to happen with these other kids?
Sure.
Understand? In order to avoid future conflicts, unnecessary conflicts, why don't you at least like have more houses? To understand?
But let's say
it may happen that
they don't afford.
But this thing, look, which is another point. The reality is, if you are a step parent, it requires you to work hard
to prepare for the
because
future.
The more kids you have, Bafito, this is a big family thing.
True.
It's not a matter of just because now you're a step parent. Being a step parent is an extension, which requires you to work more hard.
True.
You understand? Because the more kids you have, the harder you must work.
True.
Do you understand?
True.
Because our Ntwana, we know they're demanding, they're expensive. You understand? So the more kids you have, the harder you must work.
True.
And the harder you must work, that is where you get more financial gain. You understand? And the reality is, have more homes for your children. So that's why what in your will, you state it clear to say, okay, when mntano so na indlu yakho lapha, when mntano so na indlu yakho lapha, nina or wena na indlu yakho la. You understand? Shuti bonke intono bashiyela.
Let me just interject when it comes to abantu abanga afford.
Yeah.
I think equality is the best thing one can do.
Yeah, sure.
You understand? If it comes to means whereby, if let's say for example both parents they are deceased, the easiest way is created legally in a form of a will, whereby you tell them, okay, this is the point here. If you both figure to a point whereby share the house, I think it's 50%, 50%.
Sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
So by that way, because both of you guys are gain from it. You understand? So basically, it's to prepare legally, and also we prepare via parenting. You understand? In a way of uguti. Even communication, you understand? Because igcina senzani sengena my parents, ngena family, you understand? The family siyafika sekathi hey umntanethu lo, umntanethu lo, hey umntanethu and manje lona smazi mina yakubo, you understand? But when your intentions was never that.
When I remember trying to build unity and happiness,
we understand.
It's just that in Ntwana, the real thing is we must also touch the sensitive parts.
True.
To say Bafito la ngaphandle kuyaliwa amafa ayalelwa. Understand? So talking about this thing, making that will available and making the will is very important. To say, look, when I die, because I know that I have a blended family, therefore I want my things to go like this. If the bantwana bazwana ngendlu, then let them agree to sell it. Nomoya nomoya athole equal share, then it's also into a point, unlike build more homes. You can also, if you afford it, then sell the house and but when when you'd have done, you would have communicated with the children, and it should that thing would show that you are actually serious about being a step parent. And you have embraced this thing. You're open. You don't care what really.
And you're also free. We are good normal. You fixed everything.
Well, no, we fix it. Then what can also remain? It's them, the kids. How do they deal with it? So we as we discuss this thing, we must also touch the nerves, boy.
Sure.
You understand?
Var.
Then I must call ngale. My families, boy.
True.
As you are a step parent, please. This one is very important.
Sure.
Avoid families and friends with bad influence.
True.
Yeah, because then we know that like say these can divide, or these have a potential of breaking.
How do you see those people?
Yeah.
How do you see them? Because now tole out here kuyazi ukuthi out here mle. Yeah, noma kunini noma kunjani.
Uyangithola?
You understand? Horuthola ifamily yakho wazi ukuthi hayi man. Umdladla lo.
Phela remember ntwana as we are friends like this, where now you decide to marry somebody.
Sure.
Mhlawumbe has 2 or 3 children.
Var.
Outside. Do you understand? Then me is out here. How do I look at you?
Sure.
I'm ntwana yami etsayida bayidlisile.
Yeah, bayicedile.
Ntwana yami
yabayisa.
Ntwana yami should manje I tell you all those things.
Sure.
And ntwana now I'm embarrassment. You understand? Like I laugh at you. All these things. Then now it starts to play in your mind that thing to say, hey, but now man, let's keep on. Then your relationship becomes.
I think one should look after him or herself.
Yeah, sure.
First.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's very important to be healthy, because before you can make someone else healthy.
Sure.
It's very important for you to be happy before you can make someone else healthy.
Sure.
And lento le build the character ekwenza ukuthi kusasa noma umuntu angakhama noma angeza with negativity, but because you happy, negativity le would never apply. You understand? So in a nutshell, I'm trying to say, if we're now alright, then no one ongaphandle ongak-influence wrongly. You understand? Sigcina siba influenced because we are confused.
Confusion.
Yeah, confusion.
That is why Dino, we will forever go back to the first point that we talked about, which is communication. You see, you communicate all these things. Do you understand? I mean, Dino, imagine Ntwana uyafika echaritini, they with your family are saying to them, okay, bafethu ngibona umuntu and I'm serious, Dallas pusher, it's time. Then obviously such questions will come. Okay, ubani ufunde phi usebenza abantwana, then uyafika sewuthona abantwana bethu,
then bayaqala
kuzoba inkinga.
But going deeper, the reason why baba nenkinga, there's so many cases whereby you thola ukuthi angithi say you must touch nerves.
Touch nerves.
Yeah, kunabantu kunguthi they can come with kids ne. To come with kids, you guys you go on a wedlock, nyashata. To kushata, then apply for a divorce. And whatever ebenayo say wela kuye nomntana bakunembile. Understand? Bakunembile. So parents, you must understand one thing. When parents beza kuwe, or when more approach our parents, they see you as their child. They need to protect you. So they'll do by all means to protect you. But they need to protect you.
I can imagine a lady experiencing this thing, saying, okay, this guy is serious about me. Then when they ask her, how many kids does the guy have? I was with 2 different women. One.
When was kanjani uthi West 3? Orlando West 4. Orlando West 4.
I mean, you will encounter such talks.
Meaning you should be prepared.
Yeah.
Of answering difficult questions.
So while you are still with your partner, you say, look, man, mama, this is what's going to happen. Which is the reality. As we take things further, now we have to involve our families. We have to involve our friends to this thing. Let us expect negative talks or negative feedback. Let us not expect to put
and challenging conversations.
Yeah.
Also.
So as we're having these conversations, to say you are talking to me, okay, how are you going to handle this matter? If they say to me, how do you feel about having 2 children?
I think you should question each other also.
How do you feel with having 2 children with 2 different women? True. What was going through your mind? What is happening? Let us talk about this thing. And tell me how it makes you feel. If you're feeling embarrassed, tell me that, okay, if it's still embarrassed. If it makes you feel like a man, say it, so that we can talk about it. So that we can understand. So that whenever the negativity, the negative energy comes into lesson shielded with confidence.
You're already strong.
Yeah.
Because you've passed through all those challenging questions.
Because
one thing I don't think is you must also prepare your person.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Mentally, physical and emotional. No muye kaya, you must expect to do good.
Yeah, bon.
You understand?
Yeah,
you must I'm prepared.
Yeah.
Maka lapha uya already sekane shield ukuthi no man ngiyazi ukuthi kuzoba kanje. Because bazomvuruvaya the first thing bakunama girls talk bazombuza ukuthi wena ufikele kanjani ukuthi ufuna ungena kubhuti wethu nabantwana bayithu.
So nabantwana yeah.
You understand? Keep on.
You
understand?
Yeah.
And manje uzosaba kwenzani uzosaba ukukhuluma nawe because manje makazokhuluma nawe kuba ngathi manje uyakucabanisa wena nefamily. You understand? Then you end up yenzani destroy level relationship. Then relationship igcina sebanjani seba down.
Iba toxic.
Yeah, bad.
So Ntwana, you are saying how do you see that this one this family member or this friend is coming with negativity.
Yes.
Then you know what let me avoid this person. Because at some point, trying to prove yourself or trying to reason with the person, it's pointless. Sometimes there is no need for one to even try to prove to their family members that look, I will handle this thing. Because others they will never understand. Definitely should they will never understand. So there's no need for you to try to prove. Instead, you avoid them. Okay, sharp, you can't avoid female that long, but you just try to maintain but in keeping the relationship civil because you know how they feel about this matter. Therefore, you know how to deal with
and
them.
Also, you should discuss finances.
Yeah.
You understand? Financial savings, financial expenses.
Sure.
You should actually dwell and discuss that.
Yeah.
You understand? Because at the end of the day, finance is very sensitive. Ikon ukuthi nizwana kamnandi nicabana. You understand?
But it's one done I was saying, it's the parenting, but let us not run. It's a blessing of having a big family.
Because now
the more kids you have,
mhlambe umama uze nomntwana nobaba uze nomntwana. Then niba nomntwana. Ubaba makayenza ngale, umama uthi wenza ngale kakhulu.
Yes.
Mara la wenza kancane.
Yeah.
You understand? Or maybe umntana akekho, it's just the parenting. Moyenza ngale uyenza wrong, moyenza ngapha uyenza right. You understand? So financial financial conversations should be more often zikhulunywa. If kwenza grocery mhlawumbe okwenza shopping yabantwana, how can we do it? How can gauge ukuthi si balance both sides to be equal? You understand?
That's why Ntwana linka with that point financial planning.
Sure.
It's very important.
Sure.
And bavitu imali yasetshenzela. So you must work hard because now nabantwana abaningi abantwana bakhona la bayaba ongabazali. So you must work hard
and try accommodating children also. Because if you say accommodating children, makungabi khona favorite, makungaba khona ongathanda. You understand? Uthola lezo zinto ziyaqabana. You understand? Uthole manje abantwana basazwana because of ama parents. There's the one okuthiwa hayi lo asimfuni lo. There's the one to lo siyamthanda. You understand? So it goes back to equality. You must learn to be equal as much as possible to the children. I understand.
This Ntwana, it's the one that makes or break. To be honest, this is the one that makes or break. Let us avoid a comparison of children.
Sure.
That one, it's very wrong.
Sure.
Remember, these kids did not bring themselves to this world. These kids in Ntwana were made, and I believe they were made out of love, whatever, how they were made, but then they are here now. So there's no need for us to discriminate against them or choose or comparison. Understand? If you want to become a good step parent or to build a warm home, you understand? Love all your children equally. The one that you gave birth to and the one that you did not give birth to. Love your children because they are yours now. So love them all equally so. Do you understand? Talk to them the way you want to talk to them equally. So, do you understand? Do not show favoritism to say, these ones.
No mukhuza.
Do you understand? No mukhuza. Do you understand? So, or
treatment should
like
be the same.
Omonye is going to this school, Omonye is going to that school. Do you understand? Like maintain equality as much as possible. Do you understand? That thing is very important. Because Ndwana, this one Ndwana is sensitive. You'll find a machita becoming your page. You'll find like young girls becoming prostitutes or giving themselves over to older men. To understand, for example, because they are seeking that fatherly love that they don't receive from home. So a stepdad does not care about that. The child does not want anything to do or is discriminating.
Or even a stepmother as one in a stepchild.
All that thing, Buffett, is creating a psychological damage to the child, because the child is asking himself or herself, what did I do? Why should I go through this? Do you understand? Like when the child did not do anything. Do you understand? The child is here now. So what is important is, if you claim that you are in love with your partner, then love that which he or she comes with to you. You understand? Yeah. And have that thing of mixing all your children to say, okay, these are all our
togetherness,
so
basically.
Treat them equally.
Togetherness.
Yeah.
Guys, the topic is how to adapt to be a step parent.
Look, Ntwana, the sooner you accept it, the better.
Acceptability.
Simple.
Or acceptable. To accept the situation.
I mean, if you will say to your partner, look, man, I'm very and this is how things are going to work.
Finish.
Look, as a partner, you love your man or you love your woman. Do you understand? But I still have to think about this thing. How do I deal with that? Do you understand? Look, if you want to spend the of your life with, then the sooner you accept it, the better. Because it's going to be useless for you to stay in a relationship that you are saying you are still thinking. Actually straight. Let me think first. Let me think. I mean, you are open. It's either you want or you don't want. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, when it's difficult to develop, but then decide. If
there's nothing to think of.
If there's no communication, then but when you are still not sure, dieting is going to cause more damage. Do you understand? So the point is, accept the situation as earliest as possible. You understand? You don't have to, by accepting, to say, okay, now I'm ready to meet the child. No, we did say that, take things slowly, but accepting it as soon as possible, because you love this person and you see yourself spending the rest of your life with
pressure.
For example,
pressure simply. Nazindli mabati bafuna firstborn in faith. When I saw the second born.
So Susan already.
I saw second born. When I figure that second born.
Then all those things. So the sooner you accept it, the better.
Acceptability, man.
Honest. It's like here intellectually we're trying to build that as well, to say, let us accept that is the reality we're living under now. Do you understand? If uzongitshela ukuthi abantwana, it's year 2022 now. We usually hear when you listen to radios in abantwana they preg as early as 10. As early as 10 they fall pregnant.
And even
in my primary school, nowadays you wouldn't see them primary. You used to see them in high school. But now they are becoming pregnant while they are still in primary. So things are becoming worse and worse day by day. So let us accept the fact that, look, we are future wives, we are future husbands that are going to be step parents. So
even the denying of children, yes. Sometimes when it comes to stepfathering or mothering, because manje ex yakho seyithola omunye umuntu so wala ngumntwana.
Avoid being bitter.
Wala ngumntwana.
Avoid being bitter and
there's this emotion ekhona I don't know that can I say trend yokuthi mina ngeke ngivume umntana amakhulisa omunye umuntu because hey angeke amphathe ngendlela engamphatha
sharp.
I understand. So basically it becomes very toxic because nomntwana can hear what you say and already mageza kuwe seka approacher in a negative way.
Maningi mfethu ama situations. I once had this one. This guy was saying yena sharp he's married and the wife uze nomntwana ngaphandle. Now that child is staying with them, do you understand? And this guy now nomntwana ngaphandle, so that guy unfortunately is not allowed ukuthi umntwana akhe makazila ka treat sharp. Understand? So all those things those are serious problems.
Hence that is why city acceptability is very important
as soon as possible.
I understand. Because people tend to accept later to a point whereby they develop hatred for
it damage
sayenza again. You understand? Now uzumntana ngaphathwa kahle because it's real. Kunaba step parent angaphatha abantwana kahle.
Or omunye ntwana want to start accepting the day this child starts to make it in life. Then say that hey hazimtanami in or omunye ntwana
ngikhumbula istory seBhayibheli akhumbula Abraham. Abraham bekangathola umntwana noSarah.
Yes.
uSarah wathumela lapho ukuthatha islave.
One of the slaves.
Hagar.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
uHagar masaka nomntwana uJesu ubuya ulento uNkulunkulu ubuya kuSarah uthi uzozala. uSarah wayenzani? Qosha uHagar.
Qale wathi hayi lona kahamba. In fact zamaqosha before.
Baqoshe umntwana masekazana ngokuthi babona abadlala abayi2 lapha uthi lo uthatha ilifa la. Uthatha ilifa la komntana.
Ekubeni kuhuye
umthumela. Understand? So we saying basically ezinye izinto don't accept something if you feel ukuthi ngeke uyikhona. Izokuhlula. If izokuhlula ijinde then uyekelela abanye abantu because we're not all going to be step parents at the end of the day and we're not all gonna be satisfied or agreeing to this. You understand? Nabantu ukuthi bazifunela umuntu wabo straight baqale still fine but don't engage yourself with step parenting if you awuyithandi. There's no way ukuthi ungayilungisa if ungayithandi. You understand? Because uzoyenza ukuthi umama astruggle or ubaba struggle nabantwana bastruggle or struggleisha the whole nation. Actually you're breaking a nation because now family azoba because of you. You understand? That's strain.
Remember once you start to break a child in that like you
breaking the future,
you are going to break a future because that child is going to have children that they're going to break now. Going to continue with that.
So breaking. Already sebakhula ngale nto leyo.
Bakhula ngale nto leyo phela.
Khula nge-hatred.
Yeah, nalo hatred le nalo engale and bitterness.
Jesus.
So yeah, Ntwana man, that's just some points, but I believe ukuthi our viewers out there
they still have more.
They can have more or they can disagree with us where they can or where they see that Elana say lahlo kanjani, but you are allowed to have more opinions and have your say. Look, we are available on different media platforms. Please follow us, subscribe, and like.
You can also bring us topics which you'd love us to talk about.
Yes.
It's still fine. We can go through them. But we've said a mouthful and we so wish that this can be educational to all of you guys and this can be of benefit to everyone who's listening to this.
True.
But I think we've said a mouthful that comes from us. We're not experts, but we're just trying to create a conversation. We're trying to engage also on topics that affects our societies and are to come in the future.
Remember, Ntwana, I think that point is very important. We are not experts.
Sure.
Understand?
True.
We don't talk like academic research or what. What we are talking about, these are
having
just
a conversation.
Having a conversation.
Sure.
This is just a conversation of which none you are allowed to partake. And we are saying here in Ntwana we are looking at realities that we are living with every day. And we think, okay, let's talk about this. Mhlambe this thing to understand. If you feel like this is a topic that you will want to talk about, then you will just comment and tell us to say, look, talk about this. I want to hear your opinions on this, not your academic research on this. Your opinion, because here this is just one of our everyday conversations. We talk like this, so we're just sharing what we talk about.
Yeah.
So
and we think it's of help to others also.
Yes, of course.
There's some people who like to hear this also.
Of course.
Because these topics are not the topics mostly are not spoken about.
Yes.
So just trying to bring it out.
There's some awareness. So it's love.
Siyabonga. We love you. Keep well. Stay safe. Shalom. Yeah, sure.